touch alive in our morning, you know. We have a touch alive in our morning up on TikTok, you know what I mean? Oh, you never listen. And just say there is a right and a wrong way. Oh, I go on TikTok. Top form just a pass through, you know. Yeah. Sometimes I have to just drop on TikTok. I have a little 30 minutes downtime in the morning. So we just pass through and just bless up the beautiful people them on TikTok. What's up? Where you watching from? Where you joining in from, you know? Every now and then we try to jump in, you know what I mean? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word already exists. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. So you can't be careless with your words. You just there go and study. You know? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was already existed, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word. So, you know, you can't be careless with your word. Grand rising, top of the morning, deeper consciousness. How you doing this morning? You know, so we just there at a place. So we just wake up this morning and pull up we book and just go through it and see what we have in it, you know. Because sometimes I have to spend a minute because I'm at work and then I get 30 minutes. So this is where I come to actually meditate sometimes. I have to say meditate, you know, because we use that word lightly. But we just come and just gather with thoughts and just see, all right, what we need to be focusing on today, you know. And the beauty of the world just arise. Where is it? Where do you live? If you don't, yeah, you in the UK. I remember I say you in the UK. Like I've got the worst memory. I'm one of them guys, you know. Like I constantly get the argument. I just tell you that yesterday. Like I'm one of them old-fashioned guys. I don't remember nothing. Right? I remember no. You see that book that you recommend to me, right? It's such a beautiful book. Like the book that, because I remember reading it as soon as you recommended it to me, right? It's such a very, very powerful book. Like even some things didn't understand. Some things I didn't understand. It makes it like clear. Like I've listened to it. I haven't even finished listening to it yet because I want to fully make sure I'm fully digesting what I'm taking in. Right? But it just says sometimes you see some people just act in a certain way. That's what's going on in their universe. Because everybody's basically wrapped up in their own world, you know. So it's a manifestation of what's going on. So you can't take nothing personal. And you have to just allow people to be. Right? And then because it kind of connect a few dots. That's saying we go through life. I don't like going through life reacting. I like act. I realize nowadays that I'm not feeling the one. I'm not feeling the one who recommend to me. I'm not feeling the one you recommended to me. Oh no, well it's different, you know. I think didn't I tell you the one I recommended to you was As a Man Thinketh, like, but that book was probably along the same lines, you know. That book was possibly along the same lines. But it's about just sharing ideas, you know. Thanks to the who are join and who are drop a 1 and 2 love art, you know what I mean, or give up a 1 and 2 energy with it. 200 and I did not know the likes was such a big thing on TikTok until I was watching a few people likes. I was watching that they're like, give us likes because I probably push you up. But yeah, but no, it wasn't about, you know, it wasn't about recommendation per se. When I first came across the book, As a Man Thinketh, it just really simplifies stuff because a lot of us are coming from environment and backgrounds where, as a Jamaican, you call it don't let people wash their mouth on you, right? So what that mean, right? Because as I said, the kingdom of heaven is wrapped up in parables. So if you grew up in a, no, that's not the one. Which one did I recommend? I speak to so much people. Remind me which one did I recommend it to you again? Tell me. Type it to me. Right? Type it to me and me tell Anvia. Right? And in Jamaica we say we don't make people wash mouth on you. You know what I mean? But for me, when I read Think and Grow, I think As a Man Thinketh, it was really empowering myself and realize like, all right, you know, I can be something in life. It doesn't mean what people think of you because, as I said, you know what I mean? You think within and then it manifests itself out. So I can't sit there and let somebody tell me I won't come to nothing and I accept that. I think it was Les Brown say that somebody perception of you doesn't have to become your reality. Or the power of the spoken words. Okay. For me, the power of the spoken words, I think it was just helping you to understand that something you have to just let go. So sometimes a book in a few sentences, a book can really sums up itself, you know. For me, the power of the spoken words was just helping me to understand that you can let go sometimes. As I said, fear without works is dead. So once you're putting in the works and just making sure you just be careful of what you're putting out there. That was what I get from the power of the spoken words. You know, again, some people like it was quite big on relationship. she's quoting too many scriptures. I'm not. No, all right. And again, I understand that. Like, as I know, religion, for me, religion is one of the most confusing in things. But then again, in everything, we have to have a central starting point. I think in the black community, the why conscious black people is afraid of religion, because religion has been weaponized against us, right? So for me, right, I was grew up in a Christian home, right? And this is my greatest understanding. Religion has been weaponized in the black community. Like, we're supposed to find peace and solace in sufferation. So, as Jim Rohn said, the Bible is logical as much as it's practical. So if something is not going good in your life, you can look into the Bible and you can understand it, right? But if for me, we can't, as black people, use the Bible or Christianity as a supremacy, right? It starts and ends with us. Yes, it does. It does enough, but sometimes you can look and you can find a guiding, right? So for me, I wouldn't say for me, it's not about religion. And once I start understand the Bible and realize, okay, the Bible was weaponized, right? The Bible was weaponized, there's nothing outside us. No, because I wouldn't say there's nothing outside us, because you have to understand that, yeah, you are the driving force. You are the start and the beginning of you. Responsible for what happens to you and no one else. And then that takes a deeper consciousness for people to understand that. So back to as I'm saying, so it's not about being religious, right? Because in the black community, there's nothing do more harm to the black community than religion. Right? Like you got black people just throw down tools and just say Jesus is coming to save us, and when I'm dead I'm going to heaven. But these was stuff that was fed to them. Right? Because even in my family, me and my family, we had some serious conversation and say your idea of religion or your ideology of Christianity, yeah, of course it takes a deeper, because even when I was questioning certain things, my family, hello morning, blessed, hello Leon, blessed. It was some uncomfortable conversation, and I realized that so black people just don't know how to understand religion, right? And all those was just nonsense. When you're dead, you're going to go to heaven, and yeah, you're supposed to. Money is the root of all evil, and the meek shall inherit. There's so much things that black people take from Christianity that they don't understand. And it's only black people really use religion the way our religion should not be used. Like, you can look upon a black person as a Christian and say you were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Now, if you know that sin is nothing good, right? And you can't put clean wine in a dirty vessel. So if somebody go and look upon you and tell you say you were born in sin and you were shaped in iniquity, that means that your very existence, right? You're going to hell. No, it's not about going to hell. It's about accepting and asking the difficult questions. You will hear many black people will look upon you and tell you say they were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Right? And you can't go to Jamaica and tell a Christian or a black person that he or she was not born in sin or shaped in iniquity. So your very existence, you are fundamentally flawed. You understand me? Because sin is not good. And you can't get, as my granny would say, what gone bad morning, can't go come good at evening. Thanks Jesus, who's ever dropped 10 roses. So this was a question I had to ask myself. This was a question I had to say to my mom. I remember having the conversation. Thanks, Leon, for that. I remember having the conversation with my mom. Don't you tell me, because if you love my dad and my dad love you, then my very existence was not created in sin. And this is why black people walk about with so much burden, because all their life they've been told, basically, you are not good, you are not worthy. But once you understand religion, what about black people who are not Christian or like Muslim? Well, if you have a different ideology, you see religion, right? Religion is about divide and rule. Because religion and politics, anything that causes fragmentation, anything that it was just there. And religion and politics is just the biggest money-making scheme them ever. Religion and politics are just big money. They are just big money business. And anywhere money there's to be made, there's lies to be told. So it's not about if you're a Muslim or you're a Christian. It's about what is your fundamental beliefs. Okay? What is your fundamental beliefs? What is your belief principle? I remember hearing my grannies used to sing, or she used to say, your belief can kill you and your belief can cure you. And it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago I was actually joking about with the words, and I realized in that moment that my granny was telling me, my beliefs. So you think about it. If anything you believe in, because a lot of people is dying for their beliefs, you know. You got the extremists, you got the extreme Christian, the extreme Muslim, you got the extreme sexist, you got the extreme vegan, everything you have an extreme. And you got some people living their life on the extreme, and a lot of them died for their very beliefs. So when somebody go and look at you and tell you, say your belief can kill you and your belief can cure you, I had to believe I am good. I'm somebody of value. I'm somebody of worth. I don't have to fit into the stereotype as the black man, as a violent black man, or the one who think belief itself is a doubt. What do you know? What do I know? No. Doubt come from ignorance. No, see, no, belief is a form of doubt. No. I believe in something because I can prove it. No, belief is not doubt. Doubt is ignorance, because you're doubtful of something if you're ignorant to it. And if you're ignorant of something, it's because you don't understand it, right? Because ignorance is a form of not. That's why a lot of people is fearful of stranger, because they don't know them. So doubt for me, belief is, but again, I respect your point of view, right? I have to believe in something. You have to believe in something. You have to believe in something. And if you don't believe in nothing, then you believe in something, because you believe there's nothing to be believed in. And I don't want to live my life like that. I had to come to the realization that what I was told as a child was wrong. This was supremacy. Sizzla Kalonji have a song that makes a lot of other people uncomfortable. Why comes everything? My moment of realization come when I remember Sizzla Kalonji say, why does everything good and valuable has to be white? That was my first moment of reckoning. Why does I think the song is called We Don't Have No White God, right? So because God is the highest authority you can give over your life. And I have to come to the realization. I was grew up in a the thing pan at there. I grew up in a Christian home, and as a Christian you surrender to the fact that there your God does not look like you. And my moment of reckoning come in when I have to believe my God have to look like me, because I'm giving no other race supremacy over me. Does that make sense? So forget every other belief. I think the saying goes, in times and tensions like building bridge, but the fool build back. Of course, you have to build bridge, because remember, you know, God, look, if you believe in a God or you believe in a what, everybody need everybody. Just look on COVID. When everybody gone over this and everybody gone in them little dungeon, you understand me? Everybody need, you have to willing to build bridge. So it's not about saying, all right, I don't want to speak to a Christian, or I don't want to listen to what a Muslim is saying. It goes beyond that. But a lot of these religious leaders, they put up those bridges because they have to keep some of the people in ignorance. Even I was saying to somebody yesterday, even the very political class nowadays, there's a lot of fragmentation. We're living in a society where anywhere you look across the world right now, there is the gaps between the rich and the poor has widened. The gaps between the haves and the haves not is widening. And if an election should call right now, a lot of these countries have to form coalition to govern. Because the mass of the people nowadays, everybody is just in their little corner. And if you don't look like me and you don't say what I'm saying, then you're automatically my enemy. So there is no conversation happening. So we can come to a consensus and say, all right, this is the middle ground. You understand? I'm going to hell. I love women too. No, but that's in your thought, you know. Heaven and hell is in your thought. So if that's where you're condemning yourself to, me can't change you. I would tell you that. Start to read and understand your subconscious, because heaven and hell, your surrounding is heaven or it is hell. You create that in your imagination. Your life is what you created. So nobody thinks that if you are condemning yourself to hell, then your reality will reflect hell. You're going to meet the crazy baby mother. You're going to meet the crazy girlfriend, because that have to be a reflection of your imagination. I don't come to preach religion. I just come to understand that it all begins and ends with us. You are what you becomes what you think. So if you think your life should reflect heaven, speak the truth, brother, with religion, more connected. Of course, it's no man, religion. If you understand the very existence of religion, man, if you understand the very existence of religion, and this is why if you grow up to hate religion because the Bible has been associated with religion, then by default you will hate scriptures, or you will hate. I'm accepting you. I'm accepting it. Did you come true?
Hi.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah.
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are
Let's.
you?
Yeah, man, I'm all right. Just stop by over here and just I try to explain a few things. You know what I mean? And Instagram. As I said, it's not for me. For me, I don't really preach. I don't talk religion because I don't know it enough to talk about it. Does that make sense? Yeah, right. And in the black community, we are too welcoming. Everybody and anybody can become a pastor. And by default, anybody can become a leader. So that's why we have so much misleaders. But what I tend to do on my page is about speak about things that I think might be of help to those who want to listen and those who just don't want to be entertained, but those who want to hear something that can just spark the imagination, right? So, yeah, it's not about a religious discussion because I'm not a scholar of the Bible. I don't know that enough about the Bible. But from what I can tell, as I said, Jim Rohn said the Bible is logical as much as it's practical. So for us who has been misled by religion, it's easy for us to hate the Bible, right? Because when we black people think of the Bible, we think about a white man who is the ultimate writer and provider of content for the Bible. Does that make sense? Right? You still there? Yeah.
Free. And the reason I came up is because I wrote something in the comments, and I'm not sure if it showed or if TikTok censored it. When I said a belief itself is a doubt, I then said in the audience that do you believe your mother is your mother or do you know she's your mother?
Well, that's a good question, but I know she's my mother. I know she's my
Okay,
mother
and
because
this is
I
my
know.
point. You can't say you believe something if you know it.
Yeah, but isn't it go hand in hand though? Believe and know because there's proof. There would be proof to say that she's my mother, right?
Yes, you can do a
Does that make
DNA
sense?
test, but however, there's no proof that God exists, and that's my point. We believe that God exists, but where's the actual evidence? Because the people that says they've seen this so-called Jesus, none of them are alive. With all these things
All
going
right,
on in the
but
world, all this destruction, where is this God?
yeah, but I will say to you, I remember Jerry Thompson. You ever heard of Jerry Thompson? He was a Christian guy, right? So this woman
No.
sent this his kid. Yeah, so the story goes, right? The woman sent the kid to college and university, and the kid come out and saying, boy, after the mom prayed to God and God provide, because she used to wash clothes. So the short version of the story at the end, that the kid said he didn't believe in God anymore. Break the mom heart, right? And basically just like what you said, and then in the night the kid had a toothache, and the guy and the mom was like, how do you know you have a toothache? And he basically said, because I can feel it. It's moving up and down in my face, right? No, it's for me, it's not about saying that God does not exist. I never really come here and try to have that kind of conversation. But for me, it's just believing that it said the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? And just know that, if you believe in God and you believe in yourself, then there's a God exists. There's a God exists because the ultimate creator, and we are all creators. I think we have been misled to think there is a God living up in the sky, right? Okay, and
Hmm.
we are all spiritual beings. Some people is just God in his greatest form. Some people is just Satan because we are all spiritual beings and we are all energy. Does that make sense? Right? So if you're looking for a God beyond the cloud, I don't think there's a God up there because somebody would have found him by now. Elon Musk would have sent a rocket up there and asked him to come down here. All right? Right? But for me, for my belief in God is my fellow human. I believe in humanity. I know that we are all gods because we are all capable of creating and destructing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's the law of
Yes? No?
polarity, because if we are God, we're also the so-called devil then. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because you have some evilous people amongst us. You have evil amongst us. You have some evil people amongst us.
No, I'm saying
Right? And then
we
you have,
possess both energies. That's what I'm saying. It's just two ends of the same spectrum.
of course, because all right, so basically, let me understand what you're saying that if we are capable of good, we are capable of evil. Is that what you're saying?
This is a fact. We are both the God and the Satan that the Bible is talking about.
Yes, you are right. You are right because everybody have two energy in them. You have the good and you have the evil, and sometimes it plays out. Sometimes you do good. Sometimes you put a step wrong,
Light
right? So
and
if you
dark,
believe
yin
in,
yang, God and Satan, whatever you want to call it, good and bad, we possess both. And they
and
both
yeah, but
exist
I
within the
think
imagination. So you're correct there. We conjured up God. God didn't conjure up us. We created God. We created devil. If you were blind, deaf, and dumb and couldn't read the Bible, or if you live in a remote place in the Amazon rainforest, do you know who Jesus is?
I would. It's a concept. It's a word that's been associated with over time. It's what it's because we are all product of our environment. So if you grow up around people telling you that a God exists, then automatically you believe it. Not many people want to prove it and to understand what does that look like or what does that mean to them, right? And so if you're in the Amazon, they would have something in a different form or representation of their God, right? So it's just understanding, all right, it's a construct, or it's just something that people, it's just some words that people put together. But in its entirety, I start to see myself as a creating being, as somebody who can create and somebody who can destroy. And in it, and then that's what God is, because He is a creator, He is a provider,
All
right?
God
He is a
is
protector.
energy, and we are from that same
Yeah.
source. Therefore, we're not separate from the source. Just like how if you took a cup of water to the ocean, it wouldn't be separate from it. It's the same ocean that's in the cup.
It is. And I remember reading or listening to a book that said if you take a drop of water from the ocean, it's still the ocean. Right? So I'm not trying to separate. I'm not trying to separate, right? What I come to the realization is that yes, we have been fed a lot of misleading information because you have to come to the understanding that even somebody who said that they are going to hell because they love woman, now that's going to reflect in their reality, right? Because when they said to him, like, the kingdom of heaven is within me. And you can't tell a lot of people that. The kingdom of heaven is within me. It did not say it's up in the sky. He did not say. So I have to believe that I am God. He lives in me. Or I lives in me. That voice, I start to trust that voice that speaks to me. So I can't argue are saying that a God exists and when we're all dead, we're going to go up to heaven or see him or Elon Musk is going to make a rocket. Because I know for a fact that I'm not going to disagree with you. That physical God that we are that some people live to think exists does not. Because if he was there, mankind would have dig him out a long time. But you are a goddess and I'm a God. Would you agree or disagree?
Precisely. I agree
Yes? No?
100%. This is what I teach.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes, and I am a strong believer, but it takes people of a higher consciousness to can understand that, especially when you deal with people who has been brainwashed all their life. Does that
Precisely.
make sense?
We have
Because
to
if I should
unlearn
say
everything, people, and exercise
yes,
critical
and that,
thinking. And this is why I said I disagreed with the statement that the person made about the Bible being logical. At my big age, as
okay,
long as I've lived, I've never seen a serpent talk or walk. I've never seen a woman
okay.
come from a man's rib. There's so many things. I've never seen nobody blow no trumpet and no walls of Jericho fell down. Like, listen, there's nothing logical about it. I've never
And
seen this
that,
tree
yeah,
of good and bad. Where is this tree? How does that tree look? Help me to describe the leaves. Please be logical.
but
Where is the common
but
sense?
you have to know that yeah, we can't argue it on merit, but did you see the moon landing? Did you
No,
see
I
the
did
moon
not
landing?
see anything either.
But did you
They did not go
did
up
you
to no
believe the moon
moon.
landing
No,
happened?
hell no, I don't believe it. We can't even get Wi-Fi, much less go up on no damn moon. Listen,
It's about belief system. And at the end of the day, right, you're entitled to your belief. It probably doesn't make it fact, right? Or it doesn't, if you believe it did not happen, then you are wholly entitled to that, right? So again, not because you did not see, because life exists before us and it's going to exist after
no, but
us.
none of
All
us
right,
has
it's okay.
seen it. None of us has seen a woman comes from a man's rib. None of us has seen this tree of good and bad. None of us has seen the serpent with legs that talk. None of us.
Okay. Okay. No, maybe not in 2023, but maybe. I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, but you are exercising your right to question it, and that's totally okay, right? There's nothing wrong with asking the questions, right? And maybe those are questions you will take to the afterlife, because I don't think no one around can provide those answers, which is okay. And if you are exercising the critical thinking, you are analyzing what was given to you. But at the end of the day, right, not many people is willing to do that. And when you look at it from that perspective, then you can say maybe this did not happen. But how about if it did happen? Because if it did not happen, there's a possibility it could happen.
If
right?
it happened, it would
Yeah.
still be happening now. That's my point. We will be able to get a
Okay.
word
But
from a man to be able to see the
miracles.
snake that's talking and walking. It's not happening.
Yeah, but different times of life call for different miracles. Like there's a lot of miracles that they attributed to science. And I would say before I go, right, science, miracles happens around us dearly on a daily basis, right? But we are just put it down to science, because I remember Elon Musk was launching a rocket and he said, what else can I do but pray? So some scientists do what they need to do and leave the rest to a higher power, or just leave the rest to wait and see, right? So at that point in time in life, that was the miracle, or that was the one that was needed. We are living in day and age now where like miracles are wonders, are the impossible has become possible, right? So
Totally.
all we can say, we can question it, we can say I don't believe it, or I want to see proof. But yeah, we can't just disregard it. We have to say that, all right, it might happen, it maybe did not happen that way or to that extreme, right? But that's the beauty of asking questions. Show that you have the ability to think. And a lot of people give up that right to think in this day and age. And that's why the way society is at the moment, no one wants to ask a question because the fear of upsetting somebody, or they are just too lazy to ask a question. So, of course, you have to ask a question.
But
And
what
maybe
I'm
somebody.
describing, the Bible didn't even call those miracles. What was a miracle in the
Mhm.
Bible is Jesus feeding the multitude of people with 2 fish, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
making the blind man see, and all these
yeah.
things. What I'm saying about Adam and Eve and the serpent, those weren't even classed as miracles in the Bible.
Okay. Yeah, I know the stories you talk about. I mean, like I said, when I read the Bible, because I tend to watch a lot of, I watch Passion of Christ, and I try to find substance in a lot of the teachings that's in the Bible. I'm not going to lie to you. I genuinely watch Passion of Christ every now and then, and I try to pick out some stuff that I can use in my life. Because tell you what I realize with religion or understanding the Bible, you have to read it. If you don't want to read it, but if you read it, you have to interpret it for yourself, right? Because if you try to argue the Bible with somebody who's been reading it or think they know the Bible, then you will just end up more confused. Yes, I read about the 5 fishes and the 10 loaf of bread that feed the multitude. But sometimes it's just more than that, you know. Sometimes we have to look beyond what it's saying and try to realize. For me, from a business perspective, because I try to understand and find courage in that aspect. So as I said, the Bible is logical as it's practical. So for me, what's the practical use of that story, right? I can start something small and grow to something big. Does that make sense? So it's not about thinking, all right. So for us, it's not about thinking that's a miracle and that's the impossibility. For me, how do I interpret that? I can start here and I can grow to something big.
I'm aware
Right?
of
And this is
what
where I
you're
said,
saying, my brother, but without the Bible, if you never read the scriptures, would you not know these things? Did your parents not instill certain values? Did the teachers not instill certain values? Or certain things not just common sense? So if you were illiterate, or if you were born in a remote place that's never even heard of the Bible or Jesus, would you not have known these things? Life experiences, and at your big age, you already know. So this is what I'm saying. My children know right
yeah,
from wrong, and they don't read the Bible because I've instilled these values into them.
yeah, but all right. So if I might say, you're probably looking at it from an individual, but somebody had to teach you. You may not you may have felt like you were given misinformation and you were able to, because in order for you to teach, you have to know right from wrong or wrong from right. So you are able to teach your kids that they don't need the Bible because you are able to pass that knowledge to them that was passed on to you. And that's the beauty of life.
Yeah,
Everybody
but we
need,
didn't
you
need the
might think,
Bible to know right from wrong, and that's what I'm saying.
yeah, you are at a place that you think you don't need the Bible, right? But at some point, somebody would have teach you something, and then you are able to contrast. You are able to look at what's right and what's wrong. So you are able to is it now contrast? You're able to take both information and look at it and say that's wrong or that's right, and then you are able to disregard and by throwing out the wrong stuff, and by that you are probably able to throw out the Bible because you have come to the understanding that I don't need the Bible. But what I'm saying, is the starting point of what you knew somebody would have taught you. Now, who taught the person that taught you? And this is why a lot of brainwash education comes down the pipeline, right? So it's not about the Bible is just no good. Because as a man said, right, nothing is completely useless. No one is completely useless. Even the drunkard, the useless man can use as an example, right? So the Bible is not useless in its entirety. You are able to contrast it and say, that story would not have happened like that. That story is makeup or that's fabrication. But at the end of the day, we can't. It's like you are running a race, but you are disregarding the starting line. Does that make sense?
So let me ask you
If to
this.
me,
The earth is billions of years old, right? And the
yeah.
Bible came into play a few thousand years ago. What were the people believing or doing? What did they think right and wrong was before the Bible came into play? Who taught them right and wrong before this Bible, before religion, before this
I
plagiarized
mean,
story? Did the people of that time not know right from wrong?
I think people evolve, right? I think people evolve. So with the over the evolution of time, because the planet might be around billion of years, but when did man start to live and walk on the planet,
Now
right?
we're more than 2,000 something years old. That much I know. They
And
found Lucy, that fossil,
knowledge pass.
and Lucy's over 1 million years old. People were there before the Bible and before religion and before Jesus' story. So did they not know right from wrong? Did they need the
They
Bible
probably didn't.
for a religion to teach them right from wrong?
It doesn't need religion to teach you right from
That's
wrong,
my
because
point,
religion, right
brother.
from
That's
wrong,
my
and
point.
religion is like, eh?
That's my point.
No, right from wrong and religion is two different things, you know. Right from wrong and religion is two different things. Religion would be more like a belief, right? This is what I believe. This is my belief. I believe in a God above, or I don't believe in a God, or I'm a Christian. That's religion. Right from the right way and the wrong way that's not even an argument, because you're either right or you're either wrong. Yeah, but then again, with over time, things was put in place to say that thou shall not kill, because we have to live together as human, or you should not do this. So that's right and that's wrong.
Where did
But
that
people
come
start
from?
document, eh?
Where did the Ten Commandments come from?
He said it comes from Moses. He said it come from Moses. But
Okay.
like I said,
So I'm here to
he said
tell
it come
you
from.
that that's plagiarized from the 42 Principles of Mahat that predates the Bible thousands of years. There's nothing original in the
And
Bible.
Quite possibly, because if you go and look on the Bible, they have the New Testament and the Old Testament, and look on the Bible. The Bible doesn't claim. I don't argue the Bible because I know it's not a perfect book, but from what my understanding now, like there's some lessons in it. There is some lessons in it, and it's not about me arguing the Bible and tell you that you have to read it. Where for me, right? Because I need to go shortly. Wherever you want to get your lessons are from in life, get them, and as long as they are lessons that will enrich your life. Or if you don't want to live an enriching life, if you depends on the life you want to live, those are the lessons you'll be implementing, right? Because we cannot argue. I've never argued religion, because religion is something that no two person will ever agree on what religion means to them, or who is right or who is wrong about religion. What I can say is, right, get your principles, get your tools that you need to get you through to live a successful life. And that does not mean that does not have to mean it's from a religion standpoint, right? But know what you want to be your guiding principles through life, and you'll be all right. And if you know right from wrong, you can listen when something or someone is saying something of substance or something that's not of value, and you take from that what you want to take from that, and you implement what you want to implement in your life, right? You have been on a religious journey. Remember, you said that you were a Christian and then you were searching. Of course, if you have to ask the difficult question, because the Bible it can be a confusing book for those who don't know how to read it and interpret it, right? And I cannot discuss the Bible because I'm not a scholar, right? I would not know where to start. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Right.
I get you. But thanks for
Yeah. So
having me.
my lives will never be about religion, because I would not come and inflict some more wounds onto my people, because there's nothing done more harm to black people than religion.
I
Okay?
agree.
Right? And I've had a brother who and me and him had some conversation, because we have to understand the role that religion play in the destruction in the black race. And we can't go around that. As bad as it might sound, but it has done a lot of harm. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. I get you.
All right.
Thanks for having me, brother. Yeah.
All right. Deeper consciousness. All right. Blessed love.
Take care.
Bye.